Get ready for the feature presentation.
And now, he's my daddy, Marty McFly, and his best buddy, Stewart James.
And welcome into another one of our podcasts. Thanks for being here. My name is Marty McFly. My best friend over 20 years right over there, Stu James, joining us again. I have seen all through social media, especially on Facebook, a ton, and this is becoming a thing, and I think it comes with the growth of the area of where we live in Middle Tennessee. But there are people, and it's becoming, I guess, a lucrative business for crooks to go around at night in the overnight hours and see if you left your car unlocked, and then if you did, grabbing whatever they can quickly and leaving. And if you didn't, sometimes still breaking the window if there's something that looks of value in there and taking off. And everybody has, or so many people have home security cameras these days, or they put their car up close to their house. Neither one of those things are a deterrent for this to happen, because I'm seeing videos every day of this going on. And I think it's with the growth of Nashville. When Nashville grows, all these surrounding communities feel a part of that, and I think that this is a part of that. Have you seen some of those videos?
I have seen the videos, but I think it also ties into the porch pirates that we had. We just got out of the holidays not long ago. You know, they've coined the term porch pirates for these folks who basically steal packages off your porch. And people have doorbell cams, they have internet-connected cameras where they can actually see what's happening.
And people still don't care.
But now this goes back 3, 4, 5 years. I remember about 4 years ago, I had left the house, went to dinner with the family, and when I got back, there was a police officer sitting in front of my house. I thought, this is kind of strange. And so I pulled in the driveway, which at that time he got out of his car. And I want to thank this police officer, because what had happened was there was someone they caught casing cars in the neighborhood, walking around just looking in cars. They had not stolen anything yet, but they caught him checking the place out. So this police officer happened to look in my driveway, and he looked in my vehicle, and I had left my keys in my vehicle.
What?
Yes.
What?
It was an accident. It was an accident. But this is what this police officer did. This police officer in Mount Juliet, Tennessee, by the way, he sat in front of my house until I got home to let me know that I had left my keys in my car and that someone was casing the neighborhood.
Wow.
So that's a police officer going above and beyond. But the way to fix this is, first of all, do not leave your keys in your car.
Yeah, that's a good tip. Maybe you should put that on
That's number one.
Put that on a
do
card
not be an
somewhere.
idiot like me. Do not leave your keys in your car.
I got to stop for just a second here before we continue your second tip. Remember where we're at. Mark
I will.
Mark
Okay,
Remember where we're at.
Mark it.
He did this, and I guess it was when we were working. You see, originally I'm from Sparta, Tennessee. Stu is from Cookeville, Tennessee, originally, which makes us rivals, actually.
He's going to tell on me.
And we worked there in Cookeville for, 12 years or 15,
long time.
A long time, as well together. This would be 10, 12 years ago. Stu got his Jeep stolen from work. Did you leave your keys in it?
Yes, my keys were left in the car that time.
So we're talking.
I have a problem. I get out of the vehicle too fast. I leave the keys in there.
So 12 years ago, you leave your keys in the Jeep. Somebody steals it. How many days was it gone? 2, 3 days?
No, 5 days.
5 days. It ends up in a hotel parking lot. He did get it back, and it was okay, miraculously. So
Somebody just needed a ride.
So fast forward 13 years later, and you live in a much bigger city, Mount Juliet. Now,
I did it again.
And you're still doing it.
It was an accident, like I said. And it was in my driveway. I'll learn my lesson one day when I have no vehicle.
Yeah. People know better than to come into your driveway.
Thanks a lot. Now I'm going to be a target. They're looking for me, aren't they?
Okay, so tip number 1, don't leave your keys in your vehicle. I'll take you back to. Do you have another one, by the way?
Yeah, don't leave anything of value in your vehicle.
Yeah.
In your car, in your Jeep, whatever. And people say, well, always lock your vehicle. Well, that doesn't always stop them because they break the window. And in my case, I have a soft-top Jeep. If I left anything of any value in there, like the keys, all they have to do is unzip one of the panels, which is accessible from the outside, and they're in. Almost as fast as opening the door.
Now here, I've heard this from Jeep owners. I'm not going to lock it because if they want to steal something, they'll cut my soft top. At least they won't cut it this way. So my response to that is, if you're a Jeep owner, so you'd rather them steal the vehicle than cut your soft top?
Yeah. You don't know how hard it is to get one of them replaced.
I'm not a Jeep owner. I do not understand. We live in Mount Juliet, but I'm seeing this in every neighborhood, everywhere.
Yeah, you're hearing about it more and more.
It's in the middle of the night typically. And it doesn't matter if it's a neighborhood with houses that are 4 feet from each other or whatever. They do not care. They quickly just up and down the road coming into cars, and one of two things. One type of criminal, they'll just pull on the car doors to see if they're open and then move on. The other type, I guess this would be a little more brave.
A little more aggressive, a little more desperate.
They're looking inside, and if they see something inside, they're going to find a rock, or, you can buy these little tools that'll bust a window pretty quick. And if they see something inside they think might be of value, they'll bust the window out and take off. Even if you have an alarm on your car, which I don't think very many people do these days as far as for the window busting out. I mean, I have an alarm on my car which will go off if you open the door. I don't think the windows. Even if it did, they'll be long gone by the time you get, if you're sleeping,
right,
by the time you get there. But you have this grainy, it's at night, so it's not great. Surveillance, that's not going to do a whole lot of good. You can kind of see who it is. Best thing to do, as we keep saying, don't leave anything of value in your car. I had a friend who was at one of the Ys, I forget, one of the YMCAs, and they were playing basketball. And they had a Jeep too, by the way. But they had a hard time. And they had their backpack in the passenger seat. This was like 3 weeks ago. And all that was in there was clothes, by the way. And it was in the parking lot. And when he comes out, the window smashed, the backpack's gone. Mm-hmm. Somebody just walked by it, saw the backpack, I'll take that, boom, break the window, gone. Nobody saw it, it was so quick, whatever. So it happens not only in neighborhoods in the middle of the night, this happened in the morning at a YMCA. So it's becoming a thing.
Yeah, so the best prevention is the best thing. And how you prevent this is you don't leave in anything of any value in your vehicle that they can see or they can't see. You just want to make sure that you always lock your doors.
Listen, I have locked doors, and I grew up in a small town. Sparta, Tennessee is where I grew up. You grew up in Cookeville.
Right.
Which was a metropolis compared to Sparta. And we lived in the country. I did not live in the city. We lived in the country. I've locked my doors ever since I owned a vehicle. Maybe I'm paranoid like that. But I have always locked my doors in my car. Now, flip side of that, I know people now that live deep in the country, they still don't lock their house doors. I don't think the keys are in the car. Yeah, they are. Actually, yes, they are.
I was about to say.
They don't lock any of them. Never had a problem in 20-something years.
See, you make fun of me because I leave my keys in my vehicle. This actually started back when I first started driving. I was 16 years old. First of all, I had a car nobody wanted. So I would just leave the keys in it, hoping someone would take it, and nobody ever did.
That's the difference, though. Yeah, you learn that bad habit when you have a crappy car.
Right. Now I have a Jeep, and it's more desired, and everybody's got one, though. Come on. And so now I can't leave my keys in there, but it was a habit that I developed from a very young age.
Okay, maybe that's why I don't understand. I never had a car I didn't want. Now, I did not have a nice car when I'm not saying I had a nice car, no. I think we paid $1,000 for it, and it needed a paint job. But I soon put air shocks on it and some big wheels and made it kind of a hot rod, and I didn't want anybody to take it because it was mine. It was all mine, and it was great. It was the best thing ever. So anyway, I always locked my doors.
Right.
Because I had a smoking radio in there, too.
Oh, okay. Now we're getting down to it.
With lights and stuff in it.
Oh, okay.
It took me hours to install, so I was protecting my own investment there. But here's the deal, though. Still, on these videos I'm seeing, and I saw one from Gallatin last night, as a matter of fact, still, a lot of these cars that these thieves, they're opening up the door, they're not locked. And I know they may be in your driveway, close to your house, but the cars aren't locked. And I remember when I first started working in Nashville the first time, and this was back in the late 80s, shared an apartment with a friend of mine. He used to not lock his doors to his Trans Am, too, I think.
Oh, wow.
He used to not lock his doors because he didn't want same deal. He didn't want somebody to break the window. And he used to have a problem with somebody going in and stealing his petty change. And, his change he would keep in there. But they wouldn't clean it out. It'd only take $4 or $5 when he had it built up, so every now and then. But he didn't have a problem with that. They didn't steal the car. They didn't
break the window.
They didn't break the window. They didn't steal the car. They just go in there and get evidently, every now and then, they'd need a snack from the...
Yeah, it was leave a penny, take a penny.
Again, this is in Nashville. We lived over close to Thompson Lane in 24 over there. You would not leave your car unlocked now. There, or anywhere really. Don't want to specify. But anyway, totally leave it unlocked. And nobody ever stole the car. Nothing bad ever happened outside him losing a few bucks, but he figured it was a great price to pay.
Now, this was something that was brought up to me recently, is the fact that if you pull in your driveway and you have a house like mine, I have a garage. Mm-hmm. I don't use the garage. Well, I do use the garage.
It's full of crap.
It's full of junk. Yeah. I'll be just straight up honest. It's full of junk.
A bigger percentage of people, that's the case.
Exactly. It's just about everybody in my neighborhood. Yeah. Anyway, so you pull in, you don't lock your door to your car. You probably have a garage door opener in your vehicle. Mm-hmm. So you're necessarily leaving an open door to your house.
I've thought about that, actually. And I lock my doors. I have a red beeping light in the front of my windshield that tells you there's an alarm on it. And I still think about taking my garage door opener inside, even though I always lock my car. Because, again, if somebody breaks your window, then they can open up the garage door and then, access. Now, luckily, my bedroom is above the garage.
So you hear the door open.
So I would hear the door open if it did. In this particular house I'm living in now, so it wouldn't matter. But I've thought about that. Here's why we did this on this particular podcast today. This keeps getting worse. This is not getting better. I don't know that it'll get better because what can you do in a bigger sense other than what we talked about? For you people that don't lock your doors, lock them. Obviously, that's the best thing because you will see these people move on. If they can't see anything in 3 seconds,
they're gone
in the window, or they can't open it up, they are gone. So there's no way you're going to police this in the middle of the night in all these neighborhoods and all these people. There's no way. The only way you can do it is by what we talked about. There's proof on the videos I've watched. They move on quickly when that happens.
There's a reason they're crooks. They want the easy money. And so they're not going to take the time. They're going to move on to the easy target. So don't let yourself be the easy target. Like me, leaving your keys in your car.
Here's our example. Don't be my buddy Stu.
Hey, I haven't left the keys in the vehicle in a long time.
It's like one of those old ABC after-school specials. Don't be this guy.
Just say no.
Lock your doors or sleep in your car.
That's an idea.
Can you imagine somebody bust a window and reach in there and you're sleeping in there?
Yeah. They'd only do it once.
I wouldn't recommend that, although I'd like to see the video. So there you go. Lock your car doors. Do it more than you ever thought about doing. If you don't do it, start doing it. Create a new habit. If you look on Facebook, you've seen these videos. Don't be a victim of these goober heads going around and stealing stuff out of your car. And thank you once again for joining us.